6 signs that he's bad news. So you meet this guy, and at first glance, he seems so great, charming, funny, maybe even a little bit mysterious and intriguing, right? But then there's something. Maybe it's the way he brushes off your boundaries, the way his stories don't really quite seem to add up, or that the little voice inside of your head is saying, something is off here. Your gut is so much better of a detective than you can give it credit for. If you're getting like these uneasy feelings, it's not paranoia. It's like your intuition is waving like, hey, pay attention to this. So today I want to jump into the 6 signs that he really is like bad news and you should become aware of like what's really going on. His behaviors, the patterns, the warning signs, they tell you it's time to run, not to walk, but to run away. So let's get into this. The first point, he's disrespecting your boundaries. So let's start with the cornerstone of any healthy relationship really, which is respect. If he's constantly pushing your boundaries, not in a healthy way, whether it's showing up late despite you asking him not to, pushing you into things you're uncomfortable with, or dismissing your like no, even though it's a non-negotiable, he's showing you exactly who he is psychologically. Boundary pushing often comes from a sense of entitlement or a lack of empathy. He believes his wants and needs outweigh yours by a lot. And that's a very dangerous dynamic. And a healthy partner and a healthy partnership, like in that case, he will always listen, he will respect your limits and boundaries and work with you to create a safe, balanced relationship and dynamic between the two of you. If he's constantly overstepping your boundaries, it's not a misunderstanding, it's a clear disrespect and therefore a very big red flag, right?
Ladies, stop chasing men. Even when he pulls back or loses interest, or you feel like he's slipping away from you, what you do in that moment can make all the difference between him feeling like you just like all the other women he's ever met, or it can make him realize and feel you're so unique and special, and exactly the type of woman he wants something real with. Something he wants to build with, causing him to chase you, to invest in you, and prove to you that he is the right man for you. You know, there's this 12-word text message that you can send to a man that gets his attention almost immediately and makes him realize that it was a mistake to pull away from you in the first place. If you want to find out what that 12-word text message is, then I highly recommend you check out this brand new video that I created for you. I linked it in the description below. Just click the link and now let's go back to the video.
Second point is like, he's always the victim. If you notice him, nothing in his life is ever his fault. Every ex was crazy, every boss was toxic, every friendship fallout was someone else's doing. Being the perpetual victim might seem harmless, oh, these poor guys, or even endearing, but it's actually a sign of someone who lacks accountability, which is so important because without accountability, there's no growth. If he can't own up to his mistakes, how is he going to learn from them? And guess what? That lack of growth will bleed into your relationships too, for very obvious reasons, right? If he's always the victim in his story, you might eventually become the villain in his. So watch out for this one. It's bad news waiting to happen. And then he has these on-off dynamics, these hot and cold type, back and forth. One day he's texting you nonstop, planning romantic dates, and making you feel like you're the most important woman in the entire world. And the next day he's distant, unresponsive, and suddenly too busy, almost like ghosting you even. This inconsistency isn't really random. It's intentional, very much so. Players and manipulators use this hot, cold, on and off dynamic and tactic to keep you guessing and emotionally hooked. They probably listened or watched this in one of these like pickup game kind of things, which unfortunately does work because it makes you feel so much and then you like stop and drop and like it's bad news. A good partner is consistent. He doesn't play games with your emotions and he never leaves you questioning where you stand. If he's hot and cold, it's not because he's busy, it's because he's bad news. Then we have the fourth one. He talks down on you. Yes, again, another disrespect. A good man will build you up, not tear you down. If he's constantly making these subtle jabs, criticizing your choices or belittling your achievements, he's showing you his insecurities, not his strengths. People who talk down on others often do this to feel superior. It's a psychological defense mechanism, really, rooted in their own lack of self-worth and value. But here's the thing, though. That's not your problem to fix. Really, stop trying to fix that. You deserve a partner who really celebrates your wins, who wants to support your goals, who's on your side, who treats you like you're an equal, you're his queen. If he's talking down to you, it's a sign that he's not confident enough to stand by your side. The fifth point, he has a pattern of toxic relationships. So let's talk about the history. If every ex is crazy when he seems to hop from one toxic situation to another, it's time to ask yourself, like, what's the common denominator here? What's the common pattern here in all of them, which is him? Patterns don't lie. If he hasn't taken the time to reflect, grow, and heal from his past and actually integrate some learnings, he's likely bringing those same toxic dynamics into your relationship. And let's be real, you're not here to play therapist or fix someone else's mess. Like, you don't want a project, you want a partner. People who repeat toxic patterns over and over again often lack self-awareness or the willingness to change, And if he hasn't done the work, you're signing up for more of the same that he already experienced in the past, which is all this toxic, chaotic drama that you kind of want to avoid, right? Number 6, he lies, even about the small things. If he's lying about the little things, where he was, who he was with, why he didn't text you back, it's only a matter of time before the bigger lies start to surface. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. Trust and respect, right? And without it, you're building something on quicksand. A partner who lies, even about these inconsequential things, is showing you that honesty isn't a priority to them. It's not part of their value system. And here's the hard truth with this. A relationship without trust and honesty isn't a relationship. It's a waiting game for when everything is going to fall apart. So don't ignore this red flag. No matter how small the lies may seem, it's still a lie. So yeah, these are the 6 signs of a man who is really bad news and you want to stay away from it. Have you seen any of these patterns in your past relationships or maybe in your current relationships? Is this really what you want? Or do you believe that you deserve better? Do you believe that you can be with someone who values you, who appreciates you, who's honest, who's transparent, who wants to build something with you, who wants to have a foundation with you, or who wants to have a relationship with you that is built on the right foundation? So let me know in the comments. Have you dealt with someone who turned out to be bad news? And why did they turn out to be bad news? What was this for you? Maybe there are some of these comments or some of these signs that we haven't mentioned here in these top 6. Maybe there's some other ones. Love to know them from you. With all that said, again, as always, click the subscribe button, like this video, comment, and let's have some fun together to go more and more into these conversations.